1. Haunting basement. The Johnson family had just moved into their new home, a quaint little house in the suburbs. They were excited to start this new chapter of their lives, but there was something eerie about the basement. From the moment they stepped foot inside, they could feel a chill in the air, as if something unseen was lurking in the shadows. The first night in their new home started out like any other. The Johnsons tucked themselves into bed, eager to get a good night's sleep after a long day of unpacking. But as the clock struck midnight, strange noises began to echo throughout the house. At first, it was just a faint tapping sound, like someone gently rapping on the walls. Mrs. Johnson brushed it off as the house settling, but Mr. Johnson couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. He decided to investigate, making his way down to the basement. As he descended the creaky wooden stairs, the tapping grew louder and more persistent. It seemed to be coming from deep within the bowels of the basement. Mr. Johnson's heart raced as he reached the bottom step, his flashlight illuminating the darkened room. What he saw made his blood run cold. Shadows danced along the walls, twisting and contorting in unnatural ways, and in the corner of the room, a figure lurked in the darkness, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. Terrified, Mr. Johnson fled back upstairs, his mind reeling with fear. He woke his wife, frantic and panicked, but when they returned to the basement, the figure was gone, leaving behind only the echoes of its haunting laughter. From that night on, the Johnsons couldn't shake the feeling that they were not alone in their new home. Every night, the strange noises continued, growing louder and more menacing with each passing hour. They tried everything to rid the house of whatever dark presence lurked in the basement, but nothing seemed to work. Eventually, they were forced to accept that they were trapped in a nightmare from which there was no escape. And so, the Johnsons lived out their days in that house, haunted by the ghostly whispers of the basement and the chilling laughter that echoed through the halls each night. Forever prisoners in a home that was not their own. 2. The Haunting of Peterson Mansion, the Basement's Curse. Once upon a time, in a grand mansion nestled deep in the countryside, lived the Peterson children, Emma, Jack, and Lily. They had always been curious adventurers, seeking out hidden treasures and secret passages within the vast expanse of their home. Little did they know, their latest discovery would lead them down a path of terror they could never have imagined. One rainy afternoon, while their parents were away on business, the children stumbled upon a locked door hidden behind a dusty tapestry in the corner of the basement. Intrigued by the mystery, they managed to pick the lock and swing the heavy door open, revealing a staircase leading down into darkness. Ignoring the ominous feeling gnawing at the pit of their stomachs, the children descended into the depths of the newly discovered basement. The air grew colder with each step, and a sense of foreboding filled the space around them. As they reached the bottom of the stairs, they found themselves in a dimly lit chamber adorned with cobwebs and ancient relics. But before they could explore further, a sudden chill swept through the room, and the children felt a presence lurking in the shadows. Terrified, they tried to flee, but the door at the top of the stairs slammed shut, trapping them in the basement with whatever malevolent force now inhabited their home. From that moment on, their once peaceful mansion became a playground for vengeful spirits, their laughter echoing through the halls as they tormented the children night after night. Shadows danced along the walls, whispering secrets of a dark past long forgotten. Desperate to escape the nightmare they had unleashed, the children pleaded with the spirits to release them from their torment. But their cries fell on deaf ears, and the hauntings only grew more intense with each passing day. Now, as they huddle together in fear, the Peterson children can only look back with regret on the day they opened the door to the basement, unleashing a nightmare from which they may never awaken. 3. The Haunted Doll, a tale of childhood terror. In the heart of a sleepy town stood an old, decrepit mansion, its windows boarded up and its once grand facade crumbling with age. For years it had stood abandoned, a relic of a forgotten time. But to a group of adventurous kids, it held an irresistible allure. One sunny afternoon, while playing in the overgrown yard surrounding the mansion, the children stumbled upon a hidden entrance to the basement. Intrigued by the possibility of hidden treasures within, they gathered their courage and ventured inside. The basement was dark and musty, filled with cobwebs and dust-covered furniture. But amidst the debris, they discovered a peculiar toy, a doll with glassy eyes and a haunting smile. Ignoring the warning signs, they brought the doll home, unaware of the nightmare they were about to unleash. That night, as the children slept soundly in their beds, the doll came to life, its plastic limbs creaking as it moved silently through the house. It whispered eerie lullabies and uttered cryptic warnings, its presence filling the home with a sense of dread. At first, the children dismissed the strange occurrences as mere coincidence, but as the nights passed, the doll's actions grew more sinister. It would move objects around the house, knocking over furniture and slamming doors shut in the dead of night. Terrified and unable to explain the supernatural phenomenon, the children realized that they had unwittingly invited a malevolent spirit into their home. They pleaded with their parents for help, but no matter what they tried, the haunting persisted. Haunted by the doll's relentless torment, the children's once carefree lives were turned upside down. They lived in constant fear, never knowing when the doll would strike next. And though they eventually managed to rid themselves of the cursed toy, the memory of that fateful day would forever linger in their minds, a chilling reminder of the dangers that lurked in the shadows.